Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning. I hope you got some coffee. I hope you got some breakfast, and I hope your weekend has been wonderful. As always, this is the Wrestling for Life Network. We are back with the power rankings. My boy Will, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's a Sunday, so the week's gonna start off again. Wow. These weekends are going by so fast, but hey, you get to spend it with us. And today we bring you, of course, the weekly power rankings.
That we do, as we do every Sunday. If you guys have not tuned in before, we are doing the shows from the week, Monday to Friday. Just the major companies. We include Impact, and we rank them out based on our watch parties. If you haven't checked out one of our watch parties, please do so. They're a good time. And even when the wrestling sucks, we never do. So tune into those. But we take those votes, we take our opinion, and we rank out the week that was wrestling. And we give you a bit of a rundown of what happened on each show, and we go from there. So, you ready to get this one started, Will?
I am ready. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Boom. Number 6 on this week for April 24th, WWE SmackDown.
I don't think this really comes as a surprise to anybody, considering the fact how SmackDown really is. Recently, like I said, it's always the same stuff over and over and over again. You miss one, you miss them all. You watch one, you watch them all. Nothing new happens. So, yeah, it's kind of very obvious that SmackDown would be number 6.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, you nailed it. It sucked. We won't spend much time talking about it. The big highlights were what Riddle Jey Uso was a good match. The lumberjack match with Drew and Sammy sucked. Madcap beat Angel. Who cares?
Ronda Rousey signed a contract while having Drew Gulak in an armbar.
Yes, that is a very key moment. I guess a key moment at this.
Yeah,
But
at this rate.
and then they've turned Pete Dunne into a dog, legit. And we made jokes, and then our
Yes.
jokes came true.
Yeah, no, if you checked into WWE's Instagram, they literally had, when your dog goes missing, you make those posters. They had like a missing Butch poster. Here's how
Yeah,
much, here's his height, here's his weight, and
right.
where he was last seen. It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I hear you on that one. Wait, yo, sir, don't want to ignore the fans. By the way, I haven't said it, but I am KJ White, and I'm happy to be here too. Not surprised it was awful this week. Thomas Dunn, thank you for spending your morning with us, and I completely agree, Will. Um, yeah, Butch, I mean, he lost again. So he,
Yeah, by a roll up again.
again, and he just ran away. Ran away. Grown ass man. We can't find him. This guy who used to be a killer, used to be the manipulator of joints and would stretch guys out, is now a dog.
I don't understand in the slightest why they did that. Like why they reduced Butch to this character because Pete Dunne, like you said, was a killer, and he still kind of has a joint manipulation, but the character distracts so much that
Mhm.
it's like this is not the same guy.
No, it's completely asinine. It's comical, but not like you're laughing like, man, this is so funny. This is good comedy. It is hysterical in, oh my God, you guys are morons. What is happening?
Yeah, no, and it's such a damn shame. Pete Dunne should have been NXT champion by now, but now he's called up. A lot of people want to see him called up, but I don't think anyone anticipated he would turn out like that. Man,
Like he needs meds. Like, where's the wellness program? Should the wellness program not step in here and give him some help?
I don't know.
So, Butch, when did you start feeling like a dog?
Well, it was when I moved up to SmackDown.
Right? Somebody called me a bitch and I never looked back. Anyway, the other part of this, I guess the main story, Drew McIntyre's kind of back in the main event fold a little bit, kind of. We
Yeah.
were getting rumors of dark matches with him and Roman. And he's trying to beat up Sami Zayn, and apparently it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, no, all like there's a lumberjack match, and the point of it is supposed to be keep them in the ring, keep them fighting, and all that. But as we've seen in multiple lumberjack matches now, it just seems like it's an opportunity for the lumberjacks to fight to distract from the actual match, and then it can end in a count out, DQ, whatever.
Yeah. No,
And
I completely
Sami
agree
Zayn,
with that.
yeah, Sami Zayn ran away again, third time.
Yeah, and I was quite vocal this week on the fact of, I mean, you're ending both your shows. You're sending your fans home. Now, granted, you get some dark stuff, so whatever. But you're sending your TV audience home at minimum, away with just this complete. Oh, that's it. KO just left. Sammy just left. Like that's how we're going to end our shows. Guys running away, leaving. That you don't have a plan B. There's no match. There's no reason to cheer. Just all right, bye, guys.
Pretty much. And I don't understand with all these running away walkouts and like I was all happy when Drew and Sammy seemed to have a feud because it was something different than what those two were doing in the past. But it seems like any feud Drew McIntyre gets into, it lasts months, almost a year.
Right? Just stretch it out.
Every feud with McIntyre's got to last at least 4 months at the most.
Right?
His feud with Bobby, Randy, Corbin, uh, and now Sammy. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Ali did say good morning as well. So Ali, good to see you. Obviously, one of the key folks here at the Wrasslin for Life Network. But yeah, that was SmackDown. I don't know what else we can really say about it at this point. You got anything to
Nothing
add?
really.
All right.
Nope.
So, no, average rating of about 3 out of 10.
I can definitely agree with that.
Wrestling for Life number 5 this week. We're looking at Rampage down 3 spots from the previous week.
That's a shock.
Yes, but the average rating was about a 4 and change. Not the fans weren't feeling Rampage this week.
I think it's because Rampage has sort of become the more average show. It's just like, hey, here's 1 hour of just stuff. You know what I'm saying? The main feud sort of happened on Dynamite. Rampage is sort of like now the new home of the Owen Hart tournament and pointless title matches with Jade Cargill, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, we'll get to Cargill. I mean, I mean, there's something there with her. She's doing well. She's getting better by the minute. Cargill.
Thomas says, "Run, Sammy, run." You can't blame him. Drew does have a bendy sword, which he's used against the ring ropes before.
Right. Well, no wonder. Yeah, right. The dude running around with a giant sword and everyone's okay with it. So yeah, good on you, Sammy. But yeah, so Rampage opened with we got Ishii and Adam Cole.
Ishii with the busiest schedule known to man.
Right, he's the New Japan guys are on the circuit hard, but yeah, we won't go too far into this match. It was what it was. The big thing that came out of this was Jay White caused a distraction that led to Ishii losing.
And Adam Cole advancing in the Owen Hart tournament. So now that's 2 members of the UE that are in the Owen Hart tournament.
There you go. So I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I see now there was some speculation were the Bullet Club and the UE going to work together or be opposed? It looks like they're on the same page, at least for now.
Yeah, it looks like it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they sort of set up a thing between the UE and let's say 3 members of the Bullet Club, like Jay White and the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind that at all. And also, speaking of the Owen Hart tournament, it was announced that the 2 members of FTR, Dax and Cash, are going to wrestle one-on-one to see who qualifies. Yeah, that's insane.
I'm looking forward to this. I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to purposely give us a good one.
And I'm not complaining one bit. I would love to see those 2 just tear the house down. And if that's not the show starter or the main event, then what are they doing?
Right? I think it's going to be a really good match. Question is, how does it end? Who goes over? Is it squashed? Does one of their rivals come out and kick them in the face? Like, how does it all play out?
Um, I'm thinking Dax. I'm thinking Dax could because of his strong performance against Punk, and I think out of those two, I think Dax could really benefit if he were to be a singles guy.
Yeah, I think yeah, Dak seems a little more in line with that, to be honest. So I think Wheeler's just a little more reserved that way. So yeah, I don't disagree.
So what else happened?
We moved on to well, we had a little segment with the Jerk Off Society. They were trapped, but the security didn't know who they were and they couldn't get in the building. They weren't on the list.
What?
So, Danny had to go it alone.
You're not on the list to be here. Rampage wasn't bad. The crowd was dead though. Plus Hook spoke, so that was an extra point for me.
Right?
He kind of sounded like the guy in the gym class where you talk to him, you got problems now, son. You know, you
Mhm.
wanted my attention, boy? You got it. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was pumped about the Hook thing. I'm the whole storyline with him and Danhausen is actually growing on me. I don't hate it. I don't know. I think they play it so straight. It's working for me. Reminds me of the Hurricane,
Mm.
where he was playing like the superhero character, but he was playing it so straight that you just bought into it. And when he was messing with guys, it was funny.
It's just like imagine getting a challenge accepted because you destroyed a huge bag of chips.
Right? But yeah, so the Kingston match goes on. Kingston gets the win, which finally he gets to go over on Garcia and such. So that was all right. And then we went into the TBS title match. Now here's the thing: you brought up Jade earlier, but she was taking on Marina Shafar, who they brought in and they've hyped up, but she goes kind of straight to the title, which is interesting for me. And then she loses. So it's kind of interesting. Now, what do you do with her?
Probably nothing because Shafir had her Dynamite debut literally like 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they're hyping her up to be like, "Oh, this could be the best challenge Jade could ever have." And it's just like, "No, it's it's not because if she was, she would have been built up way more than she was and way longer. We all knew that Marina was just there just to be that 30-0 and just to be billed as, "Oh, could Jade lose?" We all knew she wasn't.
Right? It really doesn't. I don't know. I thought maybe with this one, the way they were hyping it, would it be a surprise? But they're doing the whole countdown, right? They're doing that whole 30 and oh now. They're posting it. So this thing where she's going to set a record. She's going to do something like the Goldberg record. She's going to go like 173 and oh. Watch. It's going to be crazy.
Oh man, I don't even want to be there for all that. Come on.
Now Jade's getting better. Jade's getting better.
I don't know what they see in her. I don't really see anything in her, in my opinion.
No,
No.
I mean, I think with her size, her athleticism, her look, I think she looks like a champion. And now she's starting to do things like, little nip ups and she's transitioning a little bit better. Now there was a couple botches, but that seems to be norm. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, I think I kind of like where she's going, and I really do think she's going to get like 100-0 before we see her lose the belt.
Damn.
Damn.
That's all I gotta say for that.
Right. So that was pretty much Rampage. And I know Thomas said it wasn't bad. I think it was a little lackluster overall. I didn't love the Cole Ishii match. So I mean, we come up with the final rating of it was like I said, around a 4 and a 5 for most people. So it ends up at number 5 this week.
Hmm. That's pretty interesting, and that's kind of rare for an AEW show to be like next to low.
Well, it dropped 3 spots, which is crazy because the previous Friday was pretty crazy.
Yes. So now number 4.
Number 4. NXT
Eh,
2.0.
Man.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Too high, too low? Was it better?
I think NXT is like the entertainment side of the week. Like it's definitely the most entertaining in WWE. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, at least.
I
But
don't disagree.
I like what NXT is doing, and yeah, definitely. I do kind of agree with this, but then that also means Raw's better. Like, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, week to week. I mean, I think with this week of NXT 2.0, it was a bit of a wonky week, and there wasn't a whole lot. It was chaotic, and it was just the fans didn't really dig it more than anything else. I mean, a couple threes in the votes, and um, see, Thomas agrees with you, and that's why I like this. There we go. Shock! I never watched the show stuff. There you go. Yeah, Raw actually got some decent votes, which I was torn on, but it ended up with a slightly higher rating.
Yeah, so
Yeah, this is not much. We got
yeah, not really much.
pretty deadly. Braun Breaker was running around trying to find Joe Gacy. We come to learn that his dad was kidnapped and in a cage in the back of the arena, which is hilarious to me. Um, Grayson Waller versus Sanga. It sucked. Waller won.
Yeah, so not Veer is just going to be just another guy
Oh, he's
who
gone.
loses. Yeah, no.
Tick,
He's
tick, tick, tock.
pretty much.
Do you
And
not
then
think so?
I definitely think so. Um for him to just immediately be broken up with Grayson Waller and now losing to Grayson Waller. There's nothing you can do for this man
Yeah.
now. And then next we had the Daddy's Little Rich Girl defeating the anime character, aka Trinity Stratton defeating Saray
I skipped
again.
right past that.
Yeah.
I skipped right past that in the show and the review. That was a
Uh,
break time for me.
and then we had Legado del Fantasma defeating Drake and Gibson. They're not the grizzled young veterans anymore.
Yes, they are now a legal firm like Brooks and Dunn.
Wow. Uh,
Drake
uh,
and Gibson.
Drake and Gibson. That does sound like a law firm.
Man, they should be at least be like Walker and Gibson, and then you'd be like, oh, it's two booze brands. We that's cool. Something,
Yeah.
whatever.
Um, Carmelo Hayes defeating Santos Escobar. So the North American title picture is like really heating up because you have Solo Sikoa in there as well. And I think it was announced that Cameron Grimes is going to defend his North
Yes,
American Championship against Solo Sikoa and Santos Escobar. That is
yes.
going to be one hell of a match. Or is it Carmelo Hayes? Is it one
Hey,
of those two? It's definitely a triple threat. But I know
yeah,
Solo's in there. I know Cameron's in there.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people are mad at a lot of different people. There's a lot of that division is kind of exciting.
It is exciting. At least there's a mid card title finally getting used, and that's the North American title.
Roderick Strong was on the show,
Was he?
or
I
did
don't.
Matt Bivens just tell him?
I don't know if Roderick was there.
I missed the Roderick segment, but anyway, we got more Natalia in NXT.
Meh. It's not like the Dolph Ziggler for me. I just think Natalia's just there just to do something and then just leave again, just to go to
Well,
SmackDown.
well, that's it.
Zion Quinn defeated Wes Lee, so Wes Lee's just going to be the next resident jobber in NXT now since Nash is gone.
Yeah,
What a shame.
he had a new look. The match was all right. I'm not sold on Zion yet.
Yeah, me neither. Oh, and then the main event, Pretty Deadly defeating Dexter Loomis and Duke Hudson to retain their NXT tag team titles. So this is weird for me because this is like a new team with Dexter and Duke. First match together as a tag team, they fight for the NXT tag team titles. That I don't know why they're doing that.
Sorry about that. My head exploded, so I had to wanted to do that off camera. Hopefully, I turned my mic off.
You did.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's weird for me too. And you know what? Fine, give them the title shot. But if you're going to build them the way you build them, and they're like this hapless team, give us a surprise win. You just beat them. Now they don't mean anything, or don't
Yeah,
give them the title shot. Let them beat a couple teams where they're struggling to get along, or they're doing their little shtick now that they're buddies. Like, yeah, it's a little bit again short sighted.
that is true. While NXT may not, maybe my least favorite show. Um, but I will give them credit that everyone on the roster has a story of some sort. Now, I didn't say they were all good stories, but they all have a story. Yeah, see, that's sort of my point too. Like sometimes you could have a shitty story, for example, Dexter Loomis and Duke Hudson, but at least everyone there has a story, or they are building up to have one.
Yeah, there is a lot of story to it. It's a chaotic. It's a bit soap opera-y, which that's fine. I mean, they're going after a demographic. I'm not exactly in the demographic they're aiming at, as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
But I see what they're doing, and I keep saying it's like a car crash. And whether you like what you're seeing or not, something's happening every segment. There's consistent movement. There's consistent pops to each. Every time we come back from a break, there's something in that next segment that gives you're like, oh shit, that's crazy. Some of it's crazy, like Wendy Chu running around in her pajamas, which I still don't like, but something's happening.
Yeah, that
Someone's
is indeed
arguing.
true. Yeah. And then at the end, Joe Gacy gave Braun Breaker his father's Hall of Fame ring in exchange for a title match.
Yes. Who cares?
I don't care. It's like, I thought that was just destroyed in a damn fire. What is it?
Yeah, and then I mean, we also did just real quick. We did see the debut of Roxanne Perez, sorry, I got Rosanna. Roxanne Perez, formerly Roxy, but she takes a loss to Gacy, or not Gacy, Jane.
Wow.
Wow.
What a great debut. I fear for your future.
I fear for
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah, there is a Roderick Strong segment.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
yeah, he planned to lead Diamond Mine by example. So I guess there's a bit of a disagreement between Bivens and Roderick Strong.
Right.
So they're kind of building up to that.
Yeah, and he demand. So we'll see. I guess they're gonna repurpose or repackage or redirect this. It seemed like the diamond mine was done, as far as I was concerned.
That was what I thought. I thought that the Creeds were just going to be this like face team, and then Ivy's going to just be in level up, and Strong's on his own. Like that was what I thought. I thought they were long done.
Right. Number 3. I don't even know
Number three.
what is number 3.
I think it's Raw. Oh no,
Oh
it's not.
no,
Whoa.
Raw had a sneaky week. Number 3, up 3 spots, only because I think there was some favoritism going on, but the votes seem to be a little higher, like 7-8 for Impact this week. It came in with just an average about 7, so just basically tied with the other brand, but we bumped the other brand to number 2 because it's never up there.
See, this is the part where I'm all confused. It's like I don't know what the hell happens in Impact.
Yeah, well, let's see. It was a go-home show for Rebellion, so you
Definitely.
expected a pretty good one. I'm just trying to pull up my notes. I think this was one here. Yeah. So we had a match between Violent by Design versus Decay. Of course, Violent by Design won. And it allows them to, it was just kind of a nothing match building towards the story. Obviously, we saw what happened last night with the Gauntlet match.
Violent Design won that as well.
Still champs. The major players gave us a promo. Cardona, Chelsea Green, and Myers. This is going well. This major players gimmick.
And I like how they're actually doing something, and that these two together as a team are taken seriously. Same with Chelsea Green. So I have no problems with this major players, and hopefully we could see them as tag champions. sooner rather than later. Though I think they're still leaning towards the Honor No More one-on-one with Violent by Design
Yeah,
after this Bullet Club thing's over.
yeah, good point. I mean, in Cardona right now, they were in the home of GCW essentially, not GCW, ECW. See what I did there? For this week's show. So, he's in a place like that and he's calling himself the King of the Death Match. And, then we got our old buddy Little Guido was involved with Tony Mamaluke. So we had some nostalgia. We had old Nunzio from FBI get in and have a match, and the fans are pretty pumped. The ECW alumni.
Yeah, and that's good that they get the nostalgia pop. They think AEW is the home of the nostalgia pops. Impact's like, hold our beer.
Ben Shearer made a comeback. He had a squash match. Nobody cared. We had Bullet Club versus Honor No More. This was just a bit of a cluster. It was all over the place. Overall, a decent match. That was probably one of the reasons why it got pushed up the card. The Impact got pushed to number 3 this week.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just kind of a cluster. It was all right, and it was just kind of building towards this weekend.
Yeah, and I think they did a pretty good job. Like Impact Rebellion was a pretty solid pay-per-view in my opinion, and yeah, nice to I hope to see what next week brings now, or what it'll be this week now. But
yep. And then they had a tag match of the X Division champion, former champion Trey Miguel. Again, all right match, not bad, good pace, good pops, good spots. All 4 men, Ace Austin, Speedball. Obviously, we're in the triple threat for the belt, which Ace has taken, which you called.
yeah, and I didn't think that would actually happen, but it happened. So, kudos to Ace Austin.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Now, I think what made this show get the votes and the points that it got was the running theme of the show is Moose had to publicly apologize for showing up at Josh's house, for spearing his wife on a random Saturday night. So yeah, this was kind of really cool and done really well.
Yeah, and it adds the whole personal aspect to the feud. Like you speared my wife, you got to apologize to my wife, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, Saturday night's match was a really good match. Obviously, for those who don't know, I hate to spoil it for you, but you do have a new Impact champion, and I'm pretty pumped about it. And this was the perfect build. Like, this is your go-home show, and this is where, we saw the SmackDown go-home show for Mania, where we were like, what are you guys doing? Moose comes out, and he's supposed to apologize, and he says, I'm sorry for exposing you for not being the protector of your wife. I'm sorry for exposing you for not being the provider for your kids. Like, holy shit. Like, you're telling me you don't want to kick this man's ass by the time you get to Saturday night? Like, and then you saw Alexander get in, and then you saw them get at it, and then you saw a hell of a match on Saturday night because they built towards it, and it was exciting. It was good.
Yeah, and that's how you build a pay-per-view. This whole week, they did it well, and I definitely believe that Impact knows how to book shows, and WWE needs to take notes, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it was a well-told story from start to finish. I think we will see it cool off. Josh gets to be champion for a little bit now, but I don't imagine, unless something changes, that we are done with Josh and Moose. That they will revisit this. They're 1-1 right now, so I expect more.
Yeah. So I guess that was Impact, wasn't it?
That was pretty much Impact, my friend. And with that, we go to
number 2. Monday Night Raw.
3 spots. What are the fans doing this week?
I don't know. How in any circumstance would Monday Night Raw be a number 2?
Like I said, its average rating was around a 7, which was crazy. I think I gave it like a 6. maybe a 5. So 7's that's crazy. I think what's selling people is this Ezekiel shit is getting over. It's blowing my mind.
Yes.
I think the fans are a little happy and bubbly because of the whole Cody Rhodes thing's got everybody in good spirits. There's still some flaws with this 3-hour show, but you
Thomas
know,
says, this is what we are all here for. The biggest storyline ever in wrestling history. Did Elias pass his lie detector test? No, but Ezekiel passed his lie detector test.
there you go. Yeah, I mean the show kicked off with Seth and Cody again.
Yeah. And they're
I
setting
hope
up
they
this thing. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I hope they don't over promo Cody every week.
Yeah. And
No.
they set up this thing where it was like, at WrestleMania, you were a mystery opponent. I didn't prepare nothing. So how about tonight? You have a mystery opponent in the main event. And Cody is like, all right.
Yeah. So that's how he went. He said, "Oh, I'll accept that challenge." He took it, and that was kind of the running story for most of the show. The one thing about this was the crowd on Monday night was good. They had a good crowd for a lot of this.
Yeah. And that made everything more believable and more hyped than really should be. Nick says, wow, the main show of WWE finally beat its developmental show.
Right?
Glad they beat a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition.
Did they finally pushed him over for once? Yeah. Then we went on to the women's tag team titles. Yeah, Liv and Rhea are unsuccessful again. Rhea beats up another tag partner. I
Yeah.
think if you're following along, even by your writing, Rhea shouldn't be in a tag team.
No, like, how many tag teams has she been in now? 2? 3?
Well,
Like,
it's been 2 in a couple months, right?
yeah, 2 in a couple months, definitely, with Nikki and now with Liv. And then you hear everybody on social media, Edge faction, Edge faction.
Maybe that's where it goes. I don't know, but right now, like you have Liv putting out posts on social media with like pictures of her and Rhea with the eyes like carved out and shit. So is
Yeah, and I think
Beanie
I think
going to
Rhea
become her
did the
stalker?
same.
Oh, did she? Oh, good.
They're both just talking smack on social media, so I don't like the looks of this.
They're bitter. They're bitter. I don't. We'll go. Then we got the Sonya Deville and Bianca Belair segment. Um,
I'm gonna give you a fine if you beat the crap out of me. Turns out you're gonna have a $1 fine. There you go.
right.
It's like, all right. And now next week it's a title match.
Title match
Bianca
next week.
Belair and Sonya.
Right.
Wow, I wonder who's gonna win. But anyways,
Could you imagine she doesn't though?
yeah, if Sonya wins, man, I could just see social media being an absolute shit show. Even though many people aren't really the biggest fans of Bianca Belair, I think they'd rather Bianca than Sonya being a champion any day of the week.
Yeah, any day of the week for sure. Um, yeah, I mean, really, there's not much else to say about that. And then, yeah, we got Veers came out, stomped out to the ring, gave us a stomp match, squash match, stomped a guy.
Squash
Uh,
match.
what's that?
Oh, I said squash match. And then
Squash
submission,
match.
tap, and then bring him to hospital. And I liked how this guy got more TV time than anybody because he gets stretchered out, and then you see Kevin Owens backstage, and then there's this guy being stretchered right beside him.
I mean, it killed me when Kevin Owens laughed and pointed at him. I thought that was a nice touch. Like, that's a pro. When you see something like that, instead of just ignoring it and walking to the ring because that's what you're supposed to do, the fact that he was like, "Look at this loser," it killed me. Um, I think this is what they should have done with Veer the first time. This
Yeah,
is how Veer should have started his career with
but
us.
no, he started out being one of Jinder's lackeys, and but now I don't know if people really believe in Veer that much. Um, but hopefully he gets built up better and is actually in a storyline, not just beating the hell out of people for a good paycheck. Um, But who knows with people like Veer, people like Walter, people like Zion Quinn, etc.
right? We have no idea what they're going to do. But yeah, I don't know what else to tell you on that little note. But I think one of the moments that everybody was talking about this week in wrestling was the next segment, the KO show. Ezekiel, Chad Gable is doing he's in charge of the lie detector somehow. What
Good
happened here?
state of the art technology. But Gable was killing it in that role. He did so good, in my
Yeah,
opinion. And
yeah.
yeah, so Ezekiel takes this test, he passes it. KO's still like, I don't believe you, blah 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 blah. This is fake. And then Ezekiel having a match against
Yeah,
Chad Gable.
with Chad Gable and a new move set.
Yeah, so Ezekiel gets the win, obviously. And you think this leads to backlash, Ezekiel and KO?
Yes, absolutely. And what did you think of the whole? I have a question for everybody.
Who wants to hear Zeke speak?
Right? And he's like, that's the same thing. I died. So I
Yeah.
want to hate this, and I did hate it, but the way they're doing it, it's got legs, and KO is a big part of why this has legs.
Yes, he sells that amazingly. Who wants to hear Zeke speak? No, that's exactly like you used to say, walk with Elias. Like, God's sake, you are Elias.
Right? And when you add in Gable being stupid and putsy, and he really did kind of remind me of babyface Kurt Angle, where like when Kurt Angle was running around with the little sheriff's hat and being a goofball, that's what
Yeah.
this kind of reminds me of. And that shush it's getting over.
And I love it. Gable is getting the love he deserves. He's not a champion, but he's there and he's having fun.
Yeah, good mid Carter. If he keeps being comical, he'd be a good heel, like U.S. title or a IC. Like, he could be a mid card guy, and I wouldn't have said that a year ago.
No, I would have said that Gable would have gotten released a year ago. KO is great. Yeah, his acting is amazing.
No, he's good. I mean, and the way he speaks, and I think a part of it is because of being from being French Canadian. There's a little bit of that in him by accident anyway. So there's like those little inflections and stutters where it doesn't sound scripted at all. Even if it was scripted, it's the way he delivers it. What like that's how you would do it, right? Like
Yeah.
you would stutter and stumble at something stupid.
So, what was next on this show?
RK Bro versus the Street Profits again,
Hooray, RK
but it was a
Bro.
good match.
Yeah, I bet so. But the Street Profits are just there for no reason, I guess.
Well, yeah, they seem to be turning, then they're not turning. They're kind of just floating. They're kind of just floating.
The
Yeah,
crowd popped big for the lie detector test, but you could hear a cricket during that match. So I think the goofy stuff is over. But if the in-ring doesn't draw you in, it's going to flop.
I agree. And a valid point. You got to give something in the ring. Now, I thought the match wasn't bad, but the crowd seemed to kind of sit on it for a little bit. The lie detector thing, like when he said, I have a question, the crowd popped huge. They're all like,
Yeah.
oh, you ask a question. We know.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, when he said, "Who wants to speak with Zeke?" they popped. It was so funny. Um, I think one of the other big moments of the week is we have a new U.S. champion.
yes, Austin Theory, all that overratedness in him, all this build. He beats Finn Balor and is the new United States champion.
The new United States champion. It seemed pretty obvious that it was going to happen. You know how the WWE feels about Balor. You know how the WWE feels about Austin Theory. Sorry, Theory. Uh,
Theory.
ridiculous. So yeah, we'll just come straight up. Finn loses the belt, and I think this is the beginning of the end. Prince Devitt was trending on Twitter with the number of people who were demanding or calling out for Finn to just quit, pull a Tony Storm, get on an airplane, and get the hell out of there because enough is enough for this guy.
Yeah, it seems like if Finn is not in NXT, he's a loser, right? Anytime he's in the main roster, it doesn't matter what he's doing, what title he holds, how long he holds said title. He just looks so bad in the main roster.
Yeah, they don't use him properly. When they do use him, it's the same cookie cutter match. Couple holds, couple arm locks, get beat up, get beat up, get beat up, get beat up. Do your comeback, do the shotgun drop kick, coup de grace. It's over. You win. And then if it's not like that, it's a loss. It's some loss to. He's lost to Theory what 3-4 times.
Yeah, maybe more if you count tag matches. Like Jesus Christ.
Right? Like just no reprieve for this guy. So a lot of people were like, poor Finn. Like the outcrying of sympathy for Finn this week was huge. It was real. It was a real big story as far as the support and the number of people. If Finn could get free and you dropped him in the middle of this Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, Elite, Undisputed Era, Red Dragon, Bullet Club mess, it'd be amazing.
Since Theory is getting a push, maybe the US title will finally mean something since Ziggler walked out while holding it. Would make sense to have that big title since Roman won't be at every show.
Absolutely. Should be. It really should be.
Yeah, but we all know how WWE feels about mid-card titles, so we'll probably see Theory just hold on to it, just take a few selfies with it, maybe lose, maybe on his third title defense. Whenever that may be.
Right? No, I think he might have the belt for a little bit. And I would like them to I've been saying for a long time, make those two mid-card belts matter. Make them the marquee belts of your shows. And, the heavyweight champion is a different animal. You got to earn that right to be in that realm. And we don't always get to see the champion, or we don't always get to see him live. Like it's there's ways around it, and they just got to do it better, and they got to stop. It's just that instant gratification of here he is, here he is, here he is, here he is, and everybody. There's only so many times we can see the same shit before we're sick of it.
Yeah, that's true.
What did we get next?
We got Edge and Damian Priest essentially saying, we're going to make your life a living hell.
Yes.
AJ Styles.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Okay.
And Edge challenges AJ Styles to a rematch at WrestleMania rematch. I mean, Backlash.
That's what it should be called. That's what the
rematch. Yeah, they Charlotte and Ronda, Edge and AJ, Cody and Seth. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. If you loved it the first time, wait till we do it shittier the second time.
Just a lower price.
WrestleMania Backlash is turning out to be the WrestleMania they should have done. Yeah. But sorry, I was just reading the question, making sure we got it. But yeah, then the show moved on. We did have some more stuff, I think.
Yeah, the last one I could really remember, because I think all the rest were like shitty moments. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens appeared twice on the show.
Yes, KO was back. This didn't make sense to me from start to finish. Oh, no, you skipped? Wait, hold on.
What?
That's shitty moments. We do have to address the fact that they did a double wedding for no reason.
Oh, no, I forgot.
Now, if they had made this the main event, the show is 6th by default, no matter what. This wedding wasn't the main event. They made these poor women walk through the ropes with their dresses on. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Akira Tozawa, Tamina, Dana Brooke, and Reggie. I think we all knew, since this is a wedding segment, shit was gonna go down. And
kind of did, but kind of didn't.
Kind of did, kind of didn't, because Reggie pinned Dana and was the champion. Then Tamina pinned him, then Akira, and then Dana. So it's just like, wow, okay, so the person that walked in as the champ walks out as the champ. We can't have anything new anymore. Sasha was there. Have her be the fucking champion. I don't care. I'm sick of seeing Dana with it.
Right? And I mean, it was just ridiculous. I thought the payoff, they were building it up, and R-Truth is all being crafty and like spying on them. He wasn't even involved. I thought he was going to ruin the wedding by trying to win the belt. Then they all swapped partners, and everybody popped when they swapped partners.
Yeah, and there was no point in it. They just swapped, and then
And then they
Tamina was
swapped
like,
back.
"You know what? Yeah, no."
Right? And then they actually, during their own stupid wedding, got booed because they found a reason for the fans to be like, "Oh man, what you just did would have been better."
Yeah, I
But
don't.
it sucked. It was 4 characters we don't care about getting married in a wedding we don't care about that had no payoff that we cared about. We just don't care. That's the way it is.
That's pretty much it. And for a title we don't even care about. It's been
Yeah,
dead in the water for like a year or two now.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that was that. Then yes, Cody Rhodes, and I think this is one of the reasons why Raw moved up 3 spots this week. Is this was a good match with a shit ending.
Yeah, no, Kevin Owens is outside the ring. Cody Rhodes is waiting. Seth Rollins yells at him like a military coach, yelling at him to get in the ring. And then Kevin Owens is like, you know what? Screw you, man. And then just walks off. No, screw you, man. I have my own storyline.
Right? Yeah, no, I have my own things. I'm trying to figure out this whole Ezekiel thing, man. Leave me alone.
I
Now,
can't be involved in your shit and then my shit.
right? You go fight him. I got to figure out who Elias really is. Yeah, no, I think for me, I like I said, I've been vocal. It is absolutely lazy, and again, not to steal from another podcaster out there, but sometimes you know, mimicking someone is the highest form of a compliment. So yeah, lazy booking,
Lazy
absolutely
booking.
disgustingly lazy. To finish both your shows in the same manner, you suck and you should be fired. Period.
Pretty much. I mean, both main roster shows ended with someone walking out
Just
and
run
getting
away.
counted out. Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll just end this match. No, the fans don't need a conclusion to something. We don't need to put a bow on it. And we're going to talk about the number 1 show in a second, and we'll see the polar opposite. I would love for WWE fans to show up and make this argument with me. But at this point now, if you watch Raw and then watch the next show, and you don't see a grave discrepancy in entertainment value, in quality, in overall wrestling production, then you're just being ignorant and biased at that point. You're not being open-minded in any way, shape, or form. Because if you really pay attention to the 2 products, you literally lazy as shit. There was options.
Yes.
Why didn't R-Truth roll up Dana and ruin that wedding and make it funny? And maybe all of them, like he drives away in the just married car, and and all 4 of them are standing there like behind the car watching him drive away, and you're like, okay, R-Truth got over. Yeah, he's got the belt back. And it's something other than this fluff where you're like, really? We just watched all these guys get fake married? Why? What did it add? Like, what next week are they getting fake divorced? Are they getting their own show on Fox? Like, why are we watching this? So there's opportunities to make the show better. They just choose not to.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, you could have had R-Truth in the Just Married car, put the title in the passenger seat, and then, yeah, the Just Married camera angle, and then there's all 4 of them standing there. But nope.
Right. And even the main event, there was a way to get out of the main event. Ezekiel could have came out and he came down to the ring and was, trying to, the way I would have done it, especially with this character they got with Ezekiel right now. Like Ezekiel comes down and he's trying to like explain to Kevin, like, listen, I'm not Elias. And while that happens, both KO gets rolled up. They love rolling people up, but or KO just gets flat out beat because of it, because Ezekiel threw him off. Now he's even more mad at Ezekiel. Like, nothing, just I'm leaving. Seth yelled at me, I'm going home. You yell at each other all the time. You hate them half the time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. R-Truth should have done the Scooby-Doo face reveal like Eric Bischoff did. Did somebody say 5 minutes?
It's too funny. But yeah, you could have done 100 different things. And I mean, even earlier segments in the show, you have potential there. It's just do it better. Just do it better. You got poor Butch turned into a dog. You got it's a shit show. But I mean, overall, the show got just above a 7, slightly, kind of on par with Impact, but we'll give them some nods. Raw made it to number 2, which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's rare. But I think we all know what number 1 is now. The reigning, defending, undisputed
Undisputed.
Power Rankings champion, AEW Dynamite. Did anyone expect any different? Anybody?
Listen, the haters are going to hate. The old school guys are going to pick it apart and go, this sucks, that sucks, this sucks. Why didn't he do this? His eyebrow should have went down, but it went up. What a moron. Like, I get it. These guys that just beat it to death and beat it to death. But wrestling, as far as a product goes right now, and I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language on a Sunday morning. But this is good wrestling in general. I'm enjoying a lot of this the way I was enjoying earlier WWE product and earlier, Attitude Era product. And there's segments of wrestling that I've really enjoyed in my life. This is becoming one of them.
Yeah, no, like Wednesday night, as I always say, is the best night in wrestling because of what we get and the stuff that gets delivered. Case in point, we kick off CM Punk versus Dustin Rhodes in a very fun match between two veterans with history, and they went for a while.
Yeah, it was very old school for those who are for the critics out there who hate the modern wrestling. This was very old school. This was very over. This was very stiff. The guys worked hard, selling body parts. It was good. It was a good match for me.
Yeah, and then of course Punk wins. Then we get a face-to-face with Punk and AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. That could be a double for nothing match. That's happening in May, I believe.
Yes.
Nick says Dynamite is legitimately the only can't-miss weekly wrestling show going, and I will have to agree. I think anyone can agree with that. Well, not anyone, but
a lot of people say they don't, but yeah, it's a tough one, man. Like that opening match, and again, no, we didn't get into a long-winded promo. Occasionally, maybe once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, we'll open a Dynamite show with a promo, but it will be a Punk promo or a MJF promo where you get into it with one segment, you bang it out, you push your commercials back, and you let them have this big kind of opening moment that means something, and then you get to the wrestling. But it feels like 3 out of every 4 shows, we're starting with a match and a good one.
Yeah, and Punk versus Page should be pretty good. And I really hope Punk takes it, in my honest opinion.
Mm-hmm. But I wonder if this is an opportunity Punk to put on a little bit of a heel and work against babyface Page. Because it's going to be hard for Page to stay babyface in a scenario against Punk because he's so over.
God knows. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, Punk would have to guide the fans through. No, you guys hate me. Don't hate this guy. But if you just leave it up to the fans and you guys are doing what you do right now, more people are they're gonna be so excited at the idea of Punk winning the belt. Adam Page is gonna get shit on as a babyface the whole process.
Pretty much.
Then we got our boys in the BCC.
Yes, Blackpool Combat Club against the Andersons, I guess. And
I like that.
Yeah, so obviously the BCC able to take the victory. Wheeler Yuta looking like a beast.
The thing is, he's over. Did you hear that crowd for him now? People have shit all over this decision to push him, but he's intense. He's learning from 2 of the greats like that are in the business right now, and they're amped. Like the crowd is so into this kid. Good on him. The people are like, "Oh, Wheeler, useless." He's only useless because we don't know who really has a good opinion on Wheeler Yuta. I don't know. Have you seen him do much?
Nope.
No, right? I mean, he's coming along. So, yeah, man. I like this. I kind of don't want to foo-foo what's happening with the BCC. I mean, Wheeler Yuta even had fancy bloody pants.
Yeah, that's understandable. And of course, Regal killing it on commentary every single time the Blackpool Combat Club have a match.
Love it.
Thomas has a fantasy booking. CM Punk takes the title, and then MJF wins the title from Punk. Ooh,
Ooh.
that's
Ooh.
I wouldn't mind that, honestly.
It could be a thing. Why not? I mean, MJF eventually is going to look towards that top of that mountain. I mean, at this point, he's going through his beef with Wardlow and such right now. But at some point, he's had enough good programs in a row where he's done nothing but deliver that he's going to deserve some love.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Now, the next segment, I personally loved what this was. The match itself didn't really lend for me, but the angle, the story, and this is where good storytelling makes up for a so-so ring appearance, was the whole Wardlow walks in the building, has to be handcuffed,
Yes.
escorted out like a maniac, like he's Hannibal Lecter,
Y-
uncuffed, goes in the ring, destroys the man, comes back out, gets cuffed again, and goes. Perfect.
Yeah, I like that. It really adds to the whole no fly list thing and really makes you believe that MJF owns this guy. And like he's like you're allowed to come here, but you have to follow my rules.
Hmm. Absolutely. Then yeah, no, you got to follow the rules, but it's make him Wardlow look like a maniac, making Wardlow look like a powerhouse, like the support. Every fan in the building wants him to get free from those shackles, but because he's doing what he's being confined, but he's doing it with a smile. And like, all right, fine. Goes down to the ring, does his business. The Butcher's a big dude. He hit him with the symphony of power bombs, which a couple of them look like I don't know.
Yeah.
But they pulled it off, and then he just kind of leaves. Like, I'll be back, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah, I
And
think he's fighting Lance Archer next.
and yes, now he's going after Archer. So, yeah, MJF has this way of putting 4 and 5 bodies in front of everybody he has to wrestle.
Yeah, but Wardlow's doing good right now, so you can't take that much away from him.
No, you really can't. And then we moved on to another Owen Hart Foundation qualifying match, and Jungle Boy, one half your current tag team champions, takes on Kyle O'Reilly of Red Dragon.
Yeah, and a lot of people might have thought Jungle Boy's so over. He's going to win. Guess what? Canada, Kyle gets the win.
There you go. He did. Big W. Good match. Not great match. Short, but got the job done. Both men were back and forth. I think Jurassic Express either needs to move away from the titles or have a really legitimate, solid rivalry. Because what's happening is tag teams are getting mad or coming to them wanting their belts, which makes sense, but they're not. They're just having these one-offs, right? Like, oh,
Yeah,
we beat these guys. They either need a really solid angle where you're like into it, like, oh no, these poor, this poor kid and his dinosaur are being picked on. Oh no, or just give up. It's time for them to move on. They took the loss here, or at least Jungle Boy took the loss here. It's not the greatest perception overall.
yeah. No, a lot of people know that I've been pretty critical of Jurassic Express because they, like with Hangman, they're kind of stale. They're just there just to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll win every single time, and then it's like, really? The person you faced should have won, in my honest opinion.
Uh-huh.
Nick says, I'm impressed with what they've done with Wardlow. When he first showed up, I thought he was going to just be a big goof named Heavy. But he very much could be TNT champ and is getting over. Anyone can be TNT champion. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, no,
Anyone but the current champ.
no.
Anyone.
I think Wardlow has world title aspirations, and I think that's not
Yes.
far fetched.
Yeah, but he's definitely championship material, whether it's the TNT title, whether it's the world title, or hell, if MJF forces him into a tag title reign. I don't care.
Right. Well, skipping ahead, we got the debut of Hook on Dynamite. Big win. What else do we expect?
Danhausen comes out and says, if you can't be cursed by Danhausen, you will fight Danhausen. So we're gonna get finally a big match between Danhausen and Hook.
Finally.
Yeah.
Anybody got an opinion on Danhausen in the ring? I'm curious.
I've never seen much of him in the ring or anything at all.
I think I've seen maybe 2 matches with Danhausen involved. I haven't seen any of his solo work, and I know I could go look it up. I just haven't. But I don't know what this guy does in the ring. I know I haven't like when I first figured out what Danhausen was, I was like, this is stupid. And then he's committed enough to it, and he's funny enough where you're like, it's stupid, but he's kind of funny. Like, all right, I can get behind this a little. This whole offsetting with Hook and finally getting Hook to talk, it's been actually all right. It's kind of surprisingly entertaining.
Yeah, and I like how Hook finally has a feud that is believable, and you can like both guys. Hook and Danhausen shouldn't tear the house down, but it should be entertaining enough.
Yeah, no, I think they'll be good. We'll see what happens. And then where did we go from there? We went into another qualifying match, I believe. Oh, well, we had the promo between Sammy and Sammy with Tay against the American Top Team again. They've completely switched roles. Sammy, yeah, they flipped it, Will.
Sammy and Tay are heels, and American Top Team are faces, so.
Yeah. So that's about it on that one. But
that's about it. No one cares.
Then we got Britt Baker against Camilla. Decent match, not great. Britsburg, she gave a little speech.
Obvious that Britt was going to win that. Definitely semi or semi-finalist or finalist. I don't know how anyone thought different.
Then we went into the main event. The main event this week was a coffin match. To be honest, I didn't love the match, but the rest of the show was kind of fun and amped up, and the fans were kind of into it. I didn't really get why we had made it to the point where we needed this desperate coffin match. Thought the ending was I thought now El Idolo looks a little weak again.
Yeah. Seems like every big babyface that Andrade El Idolo faces, he always loses.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't love the ending. Yeah, it was tough. But that was it. They went through. It was back and forth. Some fans really liked it, and I think again the rating shows. There's enough on the show that you enjoy. I enjoyed all the show, and even though I didn't love this match, it wasn't terrible. It was just big, bumpy. No. And, I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot to it. Now, the only thing we'll talk about quickly before we wrap up the power ranking for this week, I skipped over it when we did the review, but obviously the big moment of the week in wrestling, the number one kind of hot topic. The Super Show.
Yes.
The president of New Japan walks out and shakes hands with Tony Khan like Eric Bischoff and McMahon did those years ago.
And Adam Cole.
And the Forbidden Door.
Yes, Adam Cole comes out, announces that it's going to be called Forbidden Door, and advertised himself and Ishii. Adam Cole ended up winning that. And, yeah, so NJPW and AEW teaming up. And obviously, don't forget, Let's Rumble podcast is out now on Spotify and YouTube. You could be sure to go and check it out. And then...
Stop your stupid lag for a second. Mom's calling.
Ay. Sorry, well, never a dull moment, folks.
Yeah.
But so I know a lot of people have been talking the dream matches, the surprise bookings, the ups, the downs, everything that we've all been kind of waiting for a long time, where it has been rumored over and over and over. But now here we are. The Forbidden Door is wide open. We've seen so much shuffling. There's so many different matches to possibly be booked. I can't wait to see how it all plays out, how it all comes together, and what the show actually looks like at the end of the day. I think it's going to be insane. I think we're going to get a really intense night. It's going to be packed. I think it's going to be billed almost like a WrestleMania. And I mean, they're going to want to make history with this one. They purposely booked it in Chicago. Jay White had, came out and made a kind of a cryptic comment. left people unsure where he stood. Was he going to take on the Elite or the Bullet Club, or the other members of the former members of the Bullet Club, as we head to this event? But now, based on Rampage, it looks like he's actually going to side and be partnered with them. So, yeah, it's been it was definitely a huge announcement. It's going to be outstanding to see this all come together and be able to watch guys like Tanahashi and Ishii and Suzuki, which we already get a plenty of, but Okada and so many others, with the potentials of the Bryans, the Moxleys, the Omegas, the Pages, the Bucks of the world. This is going to be a good one, and it's kind of the biggest news of the week. And yeah, that's how the rankings go, folks, is that, Dynamite has sit at the top of this perch since we've started this channel. No other show has come in and done better in a week. It might actually take Dynamite having a horrible week to knock themselves off, number one. But as far as wrestling goes right now, and I know I say this a lot, but if there's anybody out there that's watching wrestling, watching multiple products and paying attention, the WWE is either going to coast and until it affects the bottom line, or they're going to change and adjust, which they always do. But right now, you cannot argue that when you tune in on a Wednesday, that is not a more fun, entertaining show. And the people that are nitpicking at, like, oh, well, that punch looked phony, this looked fake, da-da-da. I'll pull it up right now on this screen to show everybody old Mid-South wrestling or territory wrestling where the guy's toe is barely touching his shoulder on a kick. It always happened. It was all about the characters, and now you sold the characters. If you want to watch every single match and hit pause and rewind and pause and rewind and take notes and figure out every little nook and cranny that's wrong with something, it's wrestling. They're faking. I know it's a bad word, but they're faking. They're acting. They're giving us a dance in that ring. Yeah, the action itself is not fake. What they put themselves through is not fake. But yeah, they're embellishing certain things. And if you watch throughout the history of wrestling, some guys were really amazing at it. Some guys weren't. We talk about Austin all the time, where his, stomps didn't look great, but everything about him, his whole body language, is how he sold it. People weren't watching there going, "Oh my God!" Like, look at. No, we could tell that at some points his foot wasn't even moving. His other foot was just jumping up and down. So keep that in mind, folks. Dynamite is on a roll. It is on fire. And right now, in my humble opinion, it is the best product on that you can get as far as being a wrestling fan. It's definitely an easier watch than WWE at the moment. Yep. And when WWE does good, we praise them. WrestleMania, we talked about night one being a huge surprise and doing extremely well. And kind of coming out of left field where we weren't really overly anticipating anything great from them, and they over-delivered, which is great. And we'll be here. I'm a huge wrestling fan. Those who've been tuning in know that. And that's why I get to be so critical of WWE and what they're producing. I would love just 3 months to write better stuff for them. Like, it is awful where they just... It's lazy. It's lazy. They don't care. Their shows have similar product or similar content, similar endings. Yeah, right now your number one show belongs to AEW Dynamite, and I would love for anybody to come around and let me know that I'm wrong about that. The comments are below. If you're watching this right now, shaking your fist at me, I hope you guys understand that is the number one show this week. We will be back next week. Don't forget, we do have Let's Rumble came out yesterday. It is on all major platforms where you get your podcasts. It's also here on this channel. Myself and Will go through some hot takes and chat about it. Kind of similar. You'll probably hear some repetition to stuff I said today. And also later today, we are coming back with our boy Chris Trademark. We're going to do Wrasslin down memory lane. This week is Triple H of Volume 1. We'll go through the game, some of the game's greatest moments, some biggest moments. And again, for some of these guys, we're going to have multiple volumes just because their careers were crazy and full of stuff. And like I said, if you want to drop us a line on social media we're always open to suggestions, and we do have more shows coming your way, so stay tuned. And we will be back tomorrow. We have the news updates with the ladies, LJ and Ali, the Crimson Chronicles. Thank you, Nick. And we will be back tomorrow night. That's right, 3 hours of the Monday Night Raw product. And we'll see. It was number 2 this week. Can it do well enough to get decent votes from the fans? Tune in, find out. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and let everyone else you know out there, if they're a wrestling fan, they should be joining the Wrestling for Life Network. And as far as that goes, I am KJ. That was Will. The rest of the fam's kicking around. Thank you for spending some of your day with us here at the Wrestling for Life Network. As I said, we're here 7 days a week, started from the bottom, and we're going all the way to the top, folks. Enjoy, like, subscribe, tell everybody we're not stopping. And until then, I love when I stall and just keep rambling so I find the button. Until then, we will see you on the flip side. Bye for now.